Yes, we are live. Good evening, my colleagues, sir, and my dear FY students who I think I should have logged in by now. So I welcome you all to the last and the post SIP session of Diksharam 2023 for our first year students at Jai Hind College. So I myself, Radhika Rajwani, Firdaus Nobat, and Anamika Purohit, all three are part of the SIP team, and with the guidance of Dr. Ashok Wadia and Dr. Srila Das Gupta, we have successfully conducted the SIP this year, and with this session, we will be concluding the student induction program for this academic year. So, before we commence this session, I would like to request Dr. Wadia to share a few words with us.
Uh, Thank you, the team. Anamika is back. Firdos and Radhika, the three musketeers, I will say, had taken this particular task of student induction program. And I must say that they have successfully completed this. I don't know because students are not visible to me, so I don't know what is their reaction about this program, but I hope they have enjoyed. Students, one thing is they must have spoken about the values, virtues, and all those things. But important thing is these are also written in the book. You must have read in the school. Your school teachers, your parents always talk about this. Question is that are you practicing them? Now, this particular induction program, especially for the Jain College student, because Jain College believes in these values. And I remember that telling you about at the time of orientation that outside my room there is a poster. There are values rooted here in Jain College, and that's the reason that student has selected our college. Now he has passed out long back, but those memories are still there, and those wordings are definitely something to dwell upon. So I don't want to take much time, but I hope you have really imbibed these values and ready to impart them to the future students of Jain College. That is the part, because knowing the values, yeah, those are only the words, but practicing the values, that is the most important task. And imparting those values to the others, that is honorable job. So I think Jain students, being Jain students, you will take this task and take it forward. Then efforts of the Radhika, Firdos, and Anamika will bear the fruits. I hope you will not let them down, let me down, and let Jain down. Thank you. Yeah, Radhika.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. uh, I think the memories that you spoke about are, it's so true that years later we look back on our days in college, and we realize that we have come such a long way, and there is so much that we learned which we didn't even realize during our days in college. So thank you so much, sir, for your constant guidance, support, and the interest with which you helped us curate every session of this program, and helped us to make it so successful. So thank you so much,
No,
sir.
when you people are really interested and want to do something and really from the heart, I think that message must have gone to the students very clearly,
We hope so,
because
sir.
This is not a job. This is not a
Yes.
task which is given to you. And total involvement and believe in this is something which is very, very important. And
Yes.
I'm sure that some of these things must have been rubbed on the student, and they will follow your steps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So, students, this particular session is a sort of a reflection on what you have covered over the course of the SIP, yes. But now that we are almost at the end of your first year, you have your exams coming up in some days. Some of you have already begun with your practicals. So, you're on the threshold of actually going into the second year of your degree college and becoming seniors to the next year's FYs. So we thought that we will have this one session to just help you sort of understand some of the values that you may have already explored, and to help you also establish the ways in which these can be helpful in the next couple of years and the years to come, even in your later adult life. And we also had a few activities and certain final communication that we needed to do with you for the next year's SIP. So this entire session is geared up towards that. So I request Firdaus ma'am and Anamika ma'am to start with the next section of this session.
So, first of all, of course, very good evening to Sir, my wonderful team members, Radhika and Firdaus, and all the students who are a part of this, who are attending right now. I have been away for a while, and it's good to be back, and I'm very happy that I finally am getting a chance to interact with all of you. Uh, the first year students, of course, you may not know me, but I hope that as we go along, you will get to know me and I will get to know you. And whatever we were doing in the wings of the actual stage, I think slowly and gradually, you will also become a part of it. So with that positive feeling and good hope, we want to take you to the next section of this session, which is where we are just going to briefly speak about some of the values that we think that you might want to recap, because it's been a while. A lot of your sessions were conducted in the early part of the year. And while I'm not saying that you would have forgotten all of that, this is just a means for you to jog your memories a little bit. Remember all those sessions that we had with you. Remember some of the activities, some of the notes that you took in your journal, and bring back the memories of some of these values that that were spoken about and that perhaps you also experienced throughout your first year in Jai Hind College. So I will begin by just talking about the value of empathy and compassion, which I think is a very basic value. I often talk to my students when I teach them communication. I often talk to them about the difference between sympathy and empathy, because often I've seen that people mix up the two. People think that they are the same thing. And through examples and case studies, we often realize that the one crucial difference between sympathy and empathy is that when you empathize with someone, you're actually putting yourself in that person's shoes. And this is not very easy. It has, for us also, I mean, for me also, it takes me a while, because it's very easy to sort of judge the other person, or feel bad when somebody says something mean to you, or when somebody has a fight with you. You tend to have that blame game approach, that, oh, this person is wrong, I am absolutely right. And even when we talk to the elders, we have this feeling that I should be supported, my stand should be supported. And it's very rare that we are able to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and think that, why the person, where is this coming from? Perhaps the person didn't have a good day, perhaps the person was angry about something completely different. And if we have that kind of empathetic approach of putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, slowly and gradually the other person will also realize that, yes, we are ready to take that first step, and they will also take that step back towards us. I mean, that's how human connections work. And I can speak from perhaps a little more experience that I have in comparison to you, that human connections go a long way. You never know the connections that you make right now in college, how they are going to help you throughout life. They are really going to stand you in good stead, because these are going to be the connections that are the most non-judgmental, that are, really, really strong. So I think, this is one little value I want you to think back, perhaps, on some of the days when you thought somebody showed you empathy, or when you were empathetic towards someone, and think how that made you feel. If you remember that feeling, then I'm sure that this is a value that you are going to hold on to, not just in your second year and third year in college, but as a foundational value in your life. So that's something that I want to remind you a little bit about: empathy or compassion. It's something that, you just need to inculcate. If you perhaps haven't, I'm sure you all have it. So it's just a means of, reminding yourself that, hey, I have this in me. I just need to practice it a little more. As sir rightfully said, it's just it just takes a little effort to practice these things sometimes. So if you can make that effort, I'm sure you are on the right track. So I will hand over the mic to my colleague, Ms. Firdaus, to take this ahead. Go ahead, Firdaus.
Thanks a lot, Anamika. Good evening, sir, and good evening once again to my awesome team, Radhika and Anamika. It's been a pleasure, to see the concluding session of SIP, to see it, where from where we started and where we've come up, to see the wonderful experiences that we are sharing with the students. So, students, I'll be talking with you about the value of honesty and integrity. These are values, that which we've been taught right from our early childhood, and we have to understand that these are core values, which are very important, crucial in all our lives throughout anything that we do. These are values that are going to shape up your personality. These values will encourage your team members. You can build a healthy working relationship from your team building and honesty in everything that you do. And this is something which is going to take you a long way, whether it's to honestly accept the mistakes that you do. We are all not always correct, to be honest with oneself and to be honest with everyone. And I think that's something which is very, very important. If you're honest, if with yourself, with whatever work that you do it with sincerity, with dedication, and with integrity, with ethical principles, understand what is correct, what is wrong. I think, as you say, an honest action is more important than a dishonest thing. Whatever will you do, honesty is, this is a value which is going to take a long way, something that you learn in college and you can apply it in your workplace, when you're studying, in anything that you do it in life. So that's my takeaway lessons for you. Thanks to one and all. Now I hand over to Radhika Rajwani.
Thank you so much for those. I was also thinking of talking to you about two more qualities, rather values too, which are so important, especially when you're talking about your conduct at a formal space, at your workspace, and even in your personal life, and that is accountability and responsibility. Now, these are two words which are quite lengthy in their spelling, but they are also quite a weight on shoulders. So, what does it mean to be responsible? What does it mean to be accountable? So, when you say that I want to shoulder some responsibility, right? You're signing up for something. You are saying that I'm going to take the ownership of this particular task, this activity, and anything related to this is going to be my responsibility. Now, often you notice that when it's something good, you are looking for that sense of recognition and that sense of validation that you successfully and responsibly completed a particular task. But when things go wrong, it's often our tendency to say it was not me, it was someone else, right? So when for all good things you don't mind saying that's me, why is it that when something goes wrong you say why me, right? So that is what accountability is. Accountability is taking a responsibility for not just the things that go well or when things go as per your plan, but also at times owning up to something which maybe having some mistakes, or maybe it didn't go according to your plan or your goal or your objective. Now, responsibility and accountability are a part and parcel of adulting. That's one of the reasons why we don't like to get into this phase of life. But at the same time, if you take ownership of your responsibility and you hold yourself accountable for some things, you can make great things happen, right? You can do so much good for yourself, your loved ones around you, your community, your society, the world that you live in. And uh, that's not just about progress, it's also about taking care of your environment in the most wholesome manner, looking at your growth holistically, right? So responsibility and accountability start right from college. Now I'll share one experience with you, which it's a conversation which happened in another first year class. Those who are watching it and this happened in your class, they will know that it was them. So one in the first semester, some students said that they want to do their group project with their friends, and they were not happy with us making the groups for them. We always tend to do that group, the roll number this to this group, so on and so forth. So I told them that just go ahead with it, because through these group projects you're not just learning about the topic, but you're also learning how to work well with others, people you may not always be familiar with, people you may at times not even get along with, people who are your friends. So how do you understand partnerships, how do you work well as a team? These are also things that you're learning. And they didn't seem to register that in those early days of first year. They just dismissed it as we can work with anybody, that was the expression on their face. Second semester, the in the same class, the group one of the group members comes to me and says, "Ma'am, do you remember you had spoken to this about to us about this?" So I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Ma'am, we actually had a terrible fight, and I ended up doing most of the work because I couldn't tell my friends that this is your task. How do I say that? I mean, they are my friends." So accountability and responsibility also teaches you to be very confident of your own role, the way in which you what are your qualities, what are your skills, and the way in which you showcase your talents as a part of the group. And it also helps you to support the people around you, right? Because when you are aware of your own task, your own role, you can also help others to um, realize their potential. They may be your classmates, they may be your friends, they may be your colleagues. So while accountability and responsibility starts from your right from college, sometimes even from school, the various ways in which you apply it only intensify as you go through adulthood, right? So we hope that in your SY, in your TY, you take up that sense of leadership, ownership, and you not only help yourself, but you also help your classmates and also your juniors, the next year's FYs. And you train them, you mentor them, you help them understand their own talents, their potential, and you help people around you also grow and shine, as will you. Okay, so these were just some of the some values and qualities which we hope that you will explore more in your second year and your third year. And we hope that in the course of this first year also you have had the opportunities to understand this in various situations and contexts,
I
right?
think your teachers, students, your teachers are given the most difficult values because what the values which they have spelled out, they are not easy. What Anamika has said, the people are always sympathetic. It is easy to say, it's very sad, but no one likes to put in the other person's shoes and not necessarily imagine and to what extent they will be rather happy that they are not in the situation. Nobody like to be in the difficult situation what the one person is going through. So being compassionate and showing the empathy is a very difficult thing. Sympathy is fine, people normally shows sympathy, you know, because on the face you can show sympathy, you are not part of the situation, and you don't want to be the part of the situation. So this is the most difficult thing to just even do that. See, many times, uh, without realizing, you become emotional. Even the boys here, there is nothing wrong. You know, if you get tears in your eyes, that is the one step I will say towards the empathy, because you are realizing the pain and you are feeling that particular emotion. So allow your emotions, allow your thing to touch your heart. Don't be superficial in this particular uh, any situation, and show your sympathy, because person doesn't want, if you know psychology of the person, many times people say if you will say good words and all these things, that will do. Many times it is not the good words, it is only touch. Your touch can tell the person many things if you really mean it. That is very, very important. Then Firdos has spelled about integrity. I think integrity is now becoming a rare word. You know, the people get involved, but superficially. The people, even for the Jain college, I will say, even teachers or students, how much integrity you have for the Jain college, or for anything. Even suppose tomorrow you will take a job or you will start your business, the integrity will play a very important role. People will judge you on the basis of that. People will realize your integrity on the basis of your action. And if you are really involved and you care about what you are doing, and suppose you are working for the company, your total involvement, people will see. And that is the stepping stone. Also, I will say, you will climbing the ladder of the corporate world, because integrity is rare, as I say. But if you develop that integrity, I think it will do wonders for you. And lastly, now, do you understand? But integrity is integrity is not something that you like to do and you are doing that. Integrity is something which are wholeheartedly you are part of it, and ready to sacrifice, you know, whether it is time or anything, because you want to do this. And you consider, because this next one, what Radhika has said, is linked. That is ownership, responsibility, and accountability. Are you ready? When you she mentioned the she had made groups, and are you consider that you are accountable for the whole group? Are you taking the responsibility of the whole group? Now in the corporate world or your job, anywhere, you have to do that. That is a leadership, because all these things will make you the true leader. Jain's mission is that we want to make the good leader and good citizen. I think these qualities are there, because when you say I am responsible, I am ready to take responsibility, then you can't run away from the situation. And whatever the results may be, you are accountable for that. You are accountable for every action of yours. And also, if you are leading the group, you are accountable for the that particular group also. If suppose one person is not aligned with that group, you are also accountable for that. And you have to take responsibility, that person understands and become part of it. So these are the your teachers have given the heavy values and heavy words. But in the end, I think slowly you will learn, and if you imbibe and become part of you, because once these values will become part of you, then nothing, nobody, and nothing can take this away from you. And then I'm sure, because I always say that my students are my stars, and I would like to gaze at them up. So I don't mind you imbibing these values and becoming tomorrow's star. And I would like to up and gaze at you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for summarizing everything, sir. Um, now that we have sort of reflected a little bit on things that we hoped you have explored and you will continue to, we have a small poll. It's an activity which you can do live right now. We know that the numbers keep fluctuating on a live stream, so hopefully all those who are watching it live will be able to contribute. Otherwise, we'll see. So I'm just releasing one link. It's a Mentimeter link, and the parameters of the poll are pretty similar to what you were expecting in your early sessions of SIP. So we had asked you what are you most excited about, and now we are reflecting on what have you been actually able to explore in most in your FY. So we can then see whether many of you were actually able to grab onto all opportunities, or did you manage to explore something which you earlier had not, you might not be interested in. So we'll take that poll and I will just share the link with you. One second. For all those watching, please refresh your page. You would be able to see the poll link if you can just refresh your page. And this is a live poll, so as and when the entries start coming in, we will start with our analysis. Students, please refresh your page. You would be able to see a poll. Oh, we already have results coming in. Should I present the live screen? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure we all are eager to see.
Yes, all excited.
Vadias, I think, had got disconnected. So should I add you back to the main screen? Yeah, so I think you got disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one second. Sorry, one second. It's taking us little time to load because it's live.
And also based on those responses, na, to get those refreshing the results.
Yeah, because it's constantly updating itself. One second. I'm just trying to open it in full screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. So, what did you explore the most in your first year in degree college? And as you can see, these are the results.
I'm actually so happy to see understanding friendship and importance of bonding that it comes a close second. That it's not just been academics or just attending workshops, learning skills, but they've also sort of grasped the importance of bonding and establishing friendships because that is also a very important part of college life. So that it makes me very happy to see that at least it comes in the first three.
Yes.
At the first three levels.
And also when they talk about learning new skills, and I think that's something which is a very vibrant part of being a student, something which you keep on constantly learning new things. You're more open to learning all these things, and you're not just participating in academic activities, but even when top three they say that they're also participating in cultural activities, which means the main whole purpose of SIP, which is your holistic development. You all are participating in all of that, and it's really a pleasure to see you all give you such wonderful comments.
And I think it's always so interesting to see, as Anamika also said, that your first year is so much about you just finding your tribe, right? Your group, your squad, call it what you may. But it's so much of your college memories. So many of them are related to what you did with your friends, right? Be it all the canteen visits together or making notes in the library, just chatting and having the best time in life. So it's so heartening to see that yes, you all are inclined towards academics, but you're also, like Firdaus ma'am said, exploring these other important aspects of college life. And these bonds, these memories will only strengthen so much more in your SYNTY.
And I can also see that wherever the sort of scoring seems a little less, I think these are also opportunities that will come to them more in the second year. Like for instance, internships and all. Second year
True.
is going to be perhaps the or perhaps just after their first year they will be able to explore these possibilities. So it's not that they are lagging behind in any manner. These opportunities will, of course, be taken up by them. And I think this is a nice way also for the students to understand that, what are the areas that I can explore even more. So I think this is a good poll for us also to get a sense of, where the students are and for them also to get a sense of,
You
what
can
more
also
can
see, sorry,
Go ahead,
yes,
go ahead.
I was just saying you can also see some of them have also signed up for the responsibilities that we were talking about, and that's also quite commendable. So we hope that your first year was, you know, introspective, exploratory, and you continue to explore these opportunities all the more in your future years as well. Shall I stop the sharing?
Yes.
So that was nice. 1 second. Yeah. Shall we move on to the next section of our session?
Sure.
So, during the course of this SIP, in the last session that we had in August, in early part of this academic year, we had also asked you all to give us some feedback. And this feedback was related to the various sessions that we had, where our resource persons, other teachers from other departments had also taken engaged sessions and discussed certain topics with you. And the feedback that we have received is from FYs, first years, from the aided departments, the unaided departments. And if you remember, the form had specific comments that we had asked you all to submit, which we would also like to read out, because it was again so nice to see that students had taken so much effort to elaborate on specific things that they actually enjoyed during the SIP sessions, and again continue to apply these in their day-to-day life. So we thought that we would read out some of these comments because they gave us a lot of encouragement, and it would be nice for you also to know what your classmates have said. So Anamika ma'am, Firdaus ma'am, I think Anamika ma'am starting first.
I could start. So this was a question that says, what has been your biggest takeaway from the SIP program? And the responses are very, very heartening. One thing that I observed was that a lot of students have been able to make connections, especially between self and nature, self and the world around. So, students have said things like, I have started noticing even the smallest things about me. The program has given me a stronger sense of myself among others. So that, I think, was a crucial value which was discussed, that how do you interact with yourself? How do you develop a sense of self? And there are also responses that speak about the interaction between self and the world. So something like, learning, my biggest takeaway from SIP has been learning about the importance of conservation and being kind towards our peers. There's also a response that says that my biggest takeaway was a newfound perspective on myself, others, and the world at large. So these kind of connections that the students have been able to understand, engage with, and respond to, I think that is where somewhere the program has succeeded in a certain manner of speaking. Definitely, there's a lot more to explore for all of you, the students, that is. But the fact that you've been able to narrow down the takeaways in a manner that it helps you see these kind of connections, that itself is a very, very big achievement for all of us. There are also students who have said how the SIP program has made them more self-aware, and I have become, the program has broadened my mind and taught me a lot of new things. It has taught me the importance of values, principles, ethics, and the right attitude. So these are very, very, these may seem like big words, but the fact that, these have come as a part of feedback to us, it goes on to show that somewhere these sessions and perhaps the jotting down of the experiences in each of your journals, the journaling work that you have done, it shows that you have done a lot of introspection. And that, I think, is a very, very big deal for us. It's a big achievement for us. And we cannot thank you enough for engaging with the program, with so much of heart. And we hope that you are going to be, with us as we continue with this program for your juniors. I hope that a lot of you will come, come in front and support us and ensure that these bonds can sort of continue as we go ahead. I will pass the mic to my colleague, Ms. Firdaus, for the next set of comments.
Thanks a lot, Anamika. And as Anamika said, when we were reading journals, me, Radhika, and all of us, we were so happy with the amazing response that you all gave us. And we were really amazed by each session. We'd given you questions on each sessions, activities, and the way with enthusiasm that you all participate in activities, and the way that you all wrote the journal, the way it was instructed, and the way that you all added your own inputs. So it's really heartening to see the efforts that was put in by you for the student induction program, and it made us all the way more motivated to conduct such more sessions and bring out more such things for you. So I'll be reading out the question that we had given to you. What changes do you find in yourself after attending the session on nature and world? And it was so heartening to see the response, because somewhere down the line, nature is something that many of us tend to neglect. We the sense of our responsibility, our accountability towards the nature and environment. And today it has become a very important thing, the care and the respect towards nature and our responsibility, our accountability towards world. Many have said, I got, some of them have taken plantation drive, and the person says that I'm going to create more awareness about trees plantation to others and get others also involved into all these things. One of the response says that, the person realized what mistakes the person was doing, with regard to the environment, the activities, the smaller bit of activities by which the person felt that the person could now improvise and do things in a much better way. The other response to us says, I see the world and nature very differently. So that's very amazing. How do you take away the key learnings of these sessions and how that has helped to change the perspectives and also the way that you look and see nature now? Someone says, nature is so precious and we must truly protect them at any cost. So the sense of, commitment, the sense of, you could say, attachment, the sense of, the values that we all talked about today towards nature, it's really amazing to see. Someone says, I have decided to take care of my surroundings and will try to make the world a better place. Great. Someone says, I've started to take more precautions towards nature and be more responsible. So it's really amazing to see the sense of, you could say, the commitment towards nature and day to day, and the smaller bit of things that you do in and around. And if you're able to motivate, inspire few people, I think it's a very long way that we all can go towards the conservation and the preservation of nature and to be a responsible citizen that we all can strive to be. I now hand over the mic to my colleague Radhika.
Thank you so much, Firdaus ma'am. The feedback which I am going to read about is for the question: what change do you find in yourself after attending the session on family and society? This also reminds me of the various entries that we got from you students with respect to art, paintings, poetries, write-ups. And if you remember, we had again showcased some of these in one of our sessions. And I remember when we were going through these entries, it was firstly very difficult to select some. Right, we ended up selecting just a few from different streams and of different art forms or expressions. But one thing that really, really touched us was how heartfelt again were your attempts to reconnect with your loved ones. Okay, so there was a couple of poems about students who are outstation, who are living in Mumbai away from their parents or their families, and how at times difficult the journey is. And we don't even realize that many are also struggling to just enjoy this phase of life because they miss their hometown so much, and this came immediately after COVID. So we were quite touched with that, and we hope that of course through these sessions, and also as you become older and you're also making new memories through this, you're also reconnecting and celebrating that attachment that you have with your loved ones, right? So some of the comments that we got, and we have not selected these, we are actually reading this live as just scrolling through the many, I mean 800 plus or so responses that we have got. So one student says, I have become more attentive, able to understand situations and people around me in a better way. I've become a better listener, and I've also been able to help and be there for my family and friends. Such an important quality, right? Just listening. And that comes so close to empathy that we have been speaking about. And we keep talking about this in our communication classes, right? How important are listening skills. So another student says, I have become calm after these sessions, and I'm able to answer the members of my family and society. So I think what they mean to say is that they have developed that sense of calmness, that they listen to people first before reacting to anything impulsively. Another student says, I have understood the values that are needed for my family and society. So, again, like Anamika ma'am said, not just big words, but look at the meaning behind them. I have decided to spend more time with them. So that's just one final statement that one student has said, that I've decided to spend more time with my family, my friends, etc. um, I have started becoming more aware about my surroundings, whether it is my family or society, and I've started to understand them and contribute from my side. So it's not just about the one way listening, it's also about wanting to respond and contribute again to their life. It has helped me to start respecting my family members more often and connect with those with whom I haven't in a long time. So I hope you were able to reconnect with long lost friends and family members, and you're able to develop these relationships. um, One student, this is the final comment I'll read. I got to know more about my family. How they think is something that I have learned through mutual understanding. So, the two-way relationship that you share with your loved ones. So, students, we really want to thank you for sending across these comments, for reflecting on the sessions that many of the resource persons conducted, and to give us also that sense of encouragement to continue to work on the student induction program. Yours was the first batch that had this opportunity. Many of your seniors in fact told us that, ma'am, we also want an induction program. We said, you're in TY now, you don't need to be inducted. But we hope that you would also create the same foundation for your juniors, and help us to improve the SIP more, and keep giving us that sense of support that we need from our students at Jai Hind College. You're such an important part of our learning too, right? Anamika ma'am, Fidos ma'am.
Yeah, I agree with what Radhika ma'am just said. Keeping this in mind, I mean, we don't want to be disconnected with you. In fact, we want you all to be all the more a part of this program. Just because you all have gone into the second year doesn't mean that we are letting go of you. We are holding on to you still very strongly, because we would also want you all to continue being a part of this program as we run it for your juniors. Help us improve it, because I'm sure that all of you will also have very, very different suggestions, some of your own ideas to bring to us, and we will be happy to incorporate them, keeping in mind what what your requirements would be like, or if there is an idea that we have not been able to think of and you are able to think of, it would be wonderful for us to incorporate it. So I think what we have for you is an application form for those students who want to be a part of a student volunteer team for our upcoming year's SIP. It would be wonderful to have you guys as a part of the team, because you all have been through the program, and I'm sure that you have, looking at the feedback and looking at everything that you have done as part of this program, we are all very sure that you will be able to bring in the much needed youthful support that we could do with. So, keeping that hope in mind, we would want to share this application link with you. There are possibilities in terms of the departments that you can apply to. Save this link. You have all the time in the world to apply, but we would of course prefer if you can do it in the next 2 or 3 days, because then your exams will set in, and then of course there won't be any time for either of us to interact with each other. So if you can do it in the next 2 or 3 days, it would be wonderful. If you strongly feel for this program with us, if you are one of the believers, then we are happy to have you on board with us, a part of the team, and a part of the change that positive change that we are looking forward to. So go through the form, go through the different department options that we have, and try and send us your applications at the earliest. We'll be happy to have you on board. And I think it has been shared, the link has been shared in the comments.
You
So
can
Yes.
just refresh.
Yes. And once again, we request you students to be a part of this. Help us, with all your feedback and learning experiences. We are always here for constant improvement, for constant revisions, for constant upgrading with what you want in the SIP. Something that takeaways that we take from our first student induction program that we conducted. So that's been a very big important thing for us. So whatever we can try to make it more better, and whether you send us through email, and please let us know your responses, and we'll be more happy to work with you. And for us also, it will be a great learning experience to share our ideas, to share to learn from you your ideas, your expertise. So please do participate in this, and please fill up application. If any queries, all three of us, Radhika ma'am, Namika ma'am, and Mia, we are always there for you, for guiding you, for and looking forward to be a learning part of this wonderful learning experience with all of you.
Students, because we want you all to participate also, what we can do is, once the broadcast has also ended, so that most of you get a chance to fill this form, we'll also circulate the form link as a message later, so that you can share with your classmates. And we'll also specify up to what date and time the form will be open, so that many of you can join in. Of course, what role will you play and what kind of tasks will you have, of which will be decided later. But as of now, we are looking for a strong student support and a student team which can help us to curate this particular program for the next academic year as well. And please stay tuned. We are just waiting in case some query comes up, but please stay tuned, because we will be also circulating an attendance form for this live session for all those who are watching it live. So just hold on while we share the link for that as well. Yes, we have got some live responses also from students saying
Yeah.
that they have already joined. They've already they can see the link. Yeah.
Yes, Kosto, Bakhilesh, all are replying. That's great, kids.
Shall I share the attendance form while we
Yes, I think we
say the
should. Yeah.
closing remarks?
Yeah. Yes.
The attendance form for today's session has also been posted. You can again refresh the page, it will be visible on your screens. So, with that, we come to the official end of Diksharam 2023, the student induction program for the first year students. I think first time conducted at Jai Hind College, right?
Very much.
So, sorry, sir.
Monica and Firdaus, and wonderful response from the students. And they are great.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, students, for attending this final session and helping us also reminisce on the wonderful moments that we all had with you, and setting a kind of a foundation for the upcoming SIP sessions that we will be taking for the next year. So next year as a next academic session. So hoping to hear from you people, hoping for you guys to become a part of the team as well, and the positive change that we are all looking forward to. I think with that we could draw the session to a closure.
And we would also like to thank the team SIP. Would of course like to again thank Dr. Ashok Wadia, Dr. Srila Dasgupta, all the students who actively also supported us during this year as well, although we didn't recognize them as volunteers, but we did have the student council, the CRs, so many students from different classes, the coordinators, the class teachers, and all the faculty members who helped us to help us to conduct this event activity successfully. And yeah, so thank you so much from Team SIP to all of you for making this happen. Shall I close the session? See you all, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.